What up, Space Fam? Gozen here for AnimeUproar, and today we're going to be talking about the latest crazy developments in the Demon Slayer story. Muzan and Tanjiro, after all these chapters, are finally face to face, and it seems like this could be the final battle, so definitely stay tuned for that. If you enjoy seeing Demon Slayer videos on this channel, make sure to smash that like button to let me know. I'm more than happy to keep making these chapter reviews as long as you guys want to keep seeing them. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is especially important, hit that notification bell, because if you don't, you won't even know when future Demon Slayer videos come out. For more Demon Slayer content and crucial updates about the new movie and seasons, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. Lastly, there will be spoilers in this video. We are going to be looking at the latest chapter, chapter 181 after all, so you've been warned. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it. So last chapter was insane. Muzan was unleashed, and as one of the comments mentioned, he looks less like the King of Pop and more like Iggy Pop now. But musician-like appearances aside, he killed more people than we've ever seen killed in one chapter. He just pranced through them and used all of those relatively weak Demon Slayers to recover. At this point, anyone below a pillar level of power is just a liability. They'll just help Muzan gain power quicker, which is why I don't completely understand what Kiria expected those Demon Slayers to do against Muzan. And understandably, it seems like Kiria is pretty shaken up about what's happened. However, we shouldn't be too hard on him. Keep in mind, Kiria is only like 8 years old, so the fact that he's gotten this far is pretty impressive. Chapter 181 is called Disaster, and you know with a title like that things are about to get real interesting. In the beginning of this chapter, we get some much needed character development from Kiria and his sisters. Kiria, as mentioned, is freaking out and doubting himself because of what's happened. He blames himself for everything. Because he made the wrong call, Muzan slaughtered many Demon Slayers. Kiria starts to believe that it's already all over. He starts to believe that he has messed up things beyond repair. He thinks that everything everyone has done for centuries to defeat Muzan will all amount to nothing, and it's all his fault. He is absolutely paralyzed. I think that this was an important scene for us to get. I've been thinking since these kids were introduced that they're way too calm, cool, and collected for kids, especially in all of these high-stakes situations. So this scene shows us that yeah, they have doubts too, but they're doing their best to overcome them most of the time. Then the paralyzed Kiria gets a much needed slap in the face from his sister. In anime, sometimes you just need a good slap or punch in the face to get it together. Think Kamina punching Simone in the face and telling him to grit those teeth in Gurren Lagann. And this does the trick for Kiria. He snaps out of that frozen, fearful state. His sisters tell him to be strong and to hurry up and give the next order, since the fight isn't over yet. That's the thing, you can't give up before it's completely over. While they have a fighting chance, no matter how small, Kiria needs to keep himself together. After all, they have so many powerful pillars left, and the 3 demon-slaying musketeers, including Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. Kiria realized that he's the master now, and part of being the master of the Demon Slayer Corps is this pressure. He realizes that his father, grandfather, and all the others had to deal with the same pressure and hardship. If they manage to do it, then he can too. Besides, he has no choice. Everyone is relying on him, and as we know from anime, having people to protect always makes you stronger and able to cope with bigger challenges. When this all finally sinks in, he's back to normal. Yeah, a bunch of people are dead, but he still has to help out those who remain as best as he can. He starts giving orders for the pillars and other members to gather in one place. He wants them to close in on Muzan, so pretty much one giant tag team effort. He then thanks his sisters for helping him to snap out of his paralysis. They're crying, showing how hard it is for them too. After all, they're even younger than Kiria. We then jump to Mitsuri, the love pillar, and Iguro, the snake pillar, who are still fighting Upper Moon 4, Nakime, the Biwa demon. A crow tells them about Muzan and that the pillars have to gather. It's extremely impressive that Upper Moon 4, while doing everything else, was able to stall 2 pillars while not taking any damage herself. As the snake pillar points out, he's just been wasting time and energy while the others have actually been defeating demons. I really want to see this guy go all out, but he doesn't seem too strong at this point. Iguro decides that he needs to somehow get away from Upper Moon 4, while Mitsuri is surprised by the order that they want her to ditch the Biwa player. Then someone grabs her, but the question is who? Let me know your thoughts on who it is in the comments. I don't know if they'll be able to escape without defeating Upper Moon 4, but it would definitely be better if they did manage to defeat her. If they don't, she'll definitely be able to pose many problems for them later. Plus, it would really mean that they accomplished nothing while the other pillars were fighting and dying in order to defeat the other Upper Moons. The only question is, what would happen to this dimension if they were to do that? Then we jump to Muzan himself. We were told a chapter before that he wasn't close to Giyu, but chances are the Biwa player transferred him over to their location, so we get the long-awaited face-to-face reunion between Tanjiro and Muzan sooner than I thought we would. Tanjiro is clearly very much affected when he sees Muzan. His breathing goes out of control as he remembers how his family, including Nezuko, suffered because of him. He also thinks of the demon slayers he knew who died while trying to stop Muzan and his Upper Moons. The list includes Genya, Muichiro, Shinobu, and of course, the legendary Rengoku. By the way, the How Strong is Rengoku video is ready for publishing. It'll be out soon if it isn't already, so make sure to check that video out, where I not only look at his strength, but also at his epic and motivational personality. Back to the chapter. At this point, we see Tanjiro grip hard on his sword, and we see the collar of his sword, which he of course got from Rengoku. So symbolically, it is very clear that Rengoku and the others are still with them in spirit. Their sacrifices made it possible for Tanjiro and the others to get this close to beating Muzan. If they win, it will only have been possible because of the ultimate sacrifices that their fallen comrades have made. Tanjiro is arguably more angry than we've ever seen him, which makes sense. All the suffering he and his friends and family have been through can be blamed on the demon in front of him. He's been waiting for this moment since the beginning of the series. Giyu even has to tell Tanjiro to calm himself down, although Giyu is also not his usual calm self. Then Muzan gives an interesting speech. It's actually kind of funny how calm he is compared to how on edge Tanjiro and Giyu are. Muzan comments on how persistent they are. He says in a matter-of-fact way that he's getting sick and tired of the demon slayers and he's losing his patience. He says that demon slayers are always yapping about avenging their parents or children or siblings. Then he comments, isn't it enough that they're still alive? Tanjiro and Giyu seem shocked to hear this. Muzan continues talking. He says, so what if their loved ones died? They should consider themselves lucky that they survived and just carry on with their lives. Muzan wants them to think of him as a natural disaster. He says that the demon slayers should think as if their family, friends, etc. were simply met with disaster like rain, wind, volcanoes, and earthquakes. Muzan points out that no matter how many people these natural disasters kill, no one seeks revenge against them. The dead won't return to life after all. So he suggests that the demon slayers give up their grudge and pursue a quiet life. After all, that's what most people do. The demon slayers don't because, according to Muzan, they are abnormal. Coming from the demon godfather who has teeth all over his body, that's a pretty funny comment. He finally says that he's tired of dealing with them and he just wants it to end. In turn, Tanjiro tells Muzan that they cannot allow him to exist anymore, and that brings us to the end of the chapter. The quite possibly final battle has been set up nicely. Our main character is finally face to face with the main antagonist he's been pursuing since the beginning, and they are both committed to ending this once and for all. Muzan's speech was interesting, but there's a problem with its logic. He wants them to view him as a natural disaster, but the comparison doesn't really make sense for a few reasons. For starters, Muzan is human in a sense that an earthquake isn't. There are demons who managed to stop killing humans, and even the ones that didn't had a good degree of choice as to how they lived their demon life. Similarly, Muzan, like a human, is in control of many of his actions. He actively chose to create Upper Moons, he chose to kill more humans than he needed to, and he is consistently choosing to act in a way that we would characterize as evil. Then, there's the second aspect of it. The Demon Slayers can, in theory, stop Muzan, while they cannot hope to stop natural disasters like earthquakes. Since it is potentially within their power to stop Muzan from killing other innocent people, it makes sense that they'll do whatever they can to stop him. Furthermore, it's not like Muzan is Moby Dick. Muzan knows exactly what he's doing, and he's not chilling in the sea, he's actively killing humans on land. He's coming to their homes and killing them. For these reasons, it is clear that he must be stopped. After all, if he wasn't, the demon population would grow as the human population continued to decline. Eventually, it would become impossible to stop the demons and save the humans. The question is, could this be the final battle in Demon Slayer? In my view, it is definitely a possibility, even though I'd love for this series to go on as long as possible. However, if we look at Fullmetal Alchemist, a series that has a lot in common with Demon Slayer, then it seems possible that it could wrap up soon. Demon Slayer and Fullmetal Alchemist have some interesting similarities. Aside from the fact that they were both written by female mangaka, their main characters appear to be similar as well. Their main character is not motivated by trying to become the best. They're not trying to be Hokage, Pirate King, Wizard King, or any other kind of king. In both cases, the protagonist is trying to save his sibling. Al lost his human body, and Nezuko similarly lost her human body when it became a demon body. They're both amazing shonen manga, and I'd say that Demon Slayer has definitely taken inspiration from Fullmetal Alchemist. Fullmetal Alchemist wasn't that long compared to shonen like One Piece and Naruto. It had 64 episodes, and Demon Slayer is already at 181 chapters. The manga is arguably far enough to already have more episodes than 64, so it definitely could be approaching its conclusion. Muzan is the main antagonist after all, and this fight has been set up from the beginning. Tanjiro with Yorichi's earrings is clearly set up to be his successor, and as his successor, he will most likely finish what Yorichi started using the Dance of the Fire God, aka the Breath of the Sun style. On the bright side, the fight itself could definitely last a while. Potentially Muzan could escape without killing everyone, but that would be unlikely in my opinion if we take this setup into account. But let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you in the comments. And that is it for this chapter review. Things are getting intense, and it seems like in the next chapter, we might get the fight that we've been waiting for since chapter 1. Although we could also take a detour with the Biwa player versus the Love Pillar and the Snake Pillar too. Either way, I'm excited to see how the Demon Slayers get out of this one, and I'd love to see Nezuko make a reappearance as well, not to mention Zenitsu and Inosuke. It feels like it's been way too long since we've seen them. If you did enjoy this chapter review and want to keep them coming, make sure to smash that like button to let me know. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is very important, hit that notification bell so you actually know when new Demon Slayer videos come out. For more Demon Slayer content and crucial updates about the new movie and seasons, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. Thanks again for everything, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboy.